Hello, hello. It is so nice to have you back. Welcome to Lost and Found episode 3. Right now, I am sitting on the floor of my room in the hostel that I booked in Udaipur. And I cannot even tell you how grateful I'm feeling because the past 2 days has just been like one of those times where everything goes right. I've really hit a lucky streak and I just need to gush for a second. So, yesterday I get here at like 11 p.m. and I am dead tired. The moment I get off a train, the rickshaw driver approaches me and he's like, "Can I take you to your hostel?" Now, at this point, my phone is dead and I literally have 100 rupees in cash. So, I don't know if it's going to be enough to get me to the hostel. I cannot call an Uber. I don't even know if the city has Ubers. But anyway, this rickshaw driver approaches me and I ask him how much is he going to charge me. He says 100. And I tell him, well, do you know where this hostel is where I'm staying? Because I can't Google Maps you. And he says, yeah, I know where it is. Perfect. Okay. He brings me, I get here. They tell me they accidentally double booked my room. So they're going to put me in a nicer room with these double windows that open up onto the lake. And it's just been so lovely. And the city is incredible. I'm sitting here sipping chai, looking out over the lights, dancing on the water. And it's just, wow, my heart is full tonight. And I love that I can have this conversation with you because I want to talk about something that I'm really passionate about. So, this is kind of a part 2 to the previous episode. The previous episode was all about how to live a life that feels completely like your own. And just to recap, we said that if you want to live a life that's authentic, that feels like you chose that life, you firstly need to reevaluate what you believe success is. What do you believe is a good life? What are your values? And where do those values come from? Did you inherit them from your parents, society, social media? Or is it actually stuff that you decided for yourself matters to you? So that was the first point. The second point was living a life that feels like your own is finding some sort of creative expression that you enjoy and building that into your life in small ways. Because when you are able to creatively express yourself, you rewire your brain to experience life almost on a different frequency. It's as if life is on a higher saturation and you're subconsciously more open to seeing your experiences as inspiration. Okay, that was the second point. And then the third point was choose joy. Ask for what you want. Don't just grind it out. Be stubborn in your pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. You know what makes you excited. You know what creates that burning sensation, almost like butterflies in your stomach when you do something that you're really passionate about. Choose that because then your work will be of higher quality. It won't feel like a grind and opportunities will flow to you. Joy snowballs. And then your success is just so much more valuable because it's also success in something that is important to you. Okay, that's a quick recap of the previous episode. Then I said I wanted to do a part 2. But this part is going to be a bit different. Now I want to talk about what kind of things should not be or cannot be included in a life that feels like your own, in an authentic life. So previously we talked about kind of what you should pursue if you want to create a life that you're in love with. But now I want to talk about what should you stay away from. Now, there are a few things that have no space in my life whatsoever. And the first one is resentment. You cannot live a joyful, happy life that you're in love with if you are resentful or bitter. Now, practically, how can we not become resentful? Because people will screw you over. People will stab you in the back. Stuff like that happens. That's just life. So how do you stop yourself from becoming this just bowl of bitterness, because nothing eats into our joy like bitterness and resentment. And it just makes us these people that nobody wants to hang out with. So how do we keep resentment out of our life? Now, this might sound controversial, but hear me out. Be selfish. What do I mean by that? I'm not saying don't care about the people who love you, don't be there for them. That's not what I'm saying. But for some reason, society really thinks that selfishness is a bad thing. I don't believe that. But I think that I interpret selfishness a bit differently than what you might think. What I mean when I say selfishness is you are, when it comes down to it, only responsible for yourself and your own experience in the world. That's really it. Yes, you might have a family, you might have kids one day, you might have parents or people who rely on you, true. But if you make decisions thinking that this will benefit that person, but you know it's going to make you unhappy, in the long run, it's just going to turn you bitter towards the person who you're trying to do good for. It's going to ruin that relationship. You're going to feel like they owe you something. And nobody wants to feel like they owe somebody else something. Have you ever been with people who, like friends who do so much for you without you having asked it, and then suddenly you get the vibe that they think you now owe them something in return? It's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to feel that. Nobody likes people who act in that way. That's not a secure, independent, joyful person who places an onus on somebody else or who makes other people feel bad. My biggest pet peeve in the whole world is guilt tripping. I cannot stand guilt tripping because at its core, if you guilt trip someone, you do not realize that people are free. Everybody is free to make their own choices. Nobody owes you anything. I think that's really something I learned in this year while solo traveling. Nobody owes you anything. No matter what you do for them, everybody is deeply free. And because of that, you need to realize that you are also deeply free. Take radical accountability for your actions and for where you are at in your life. Because yes, of course, everybody is born with a different set of circumstances, a different set of things that maybe privilege you in some way. We're all starting a race, but some of us have running shoes, others have shackles on our feet. I read this quote somewhere, I can't remember who said it. The quote goes that what happened to you is not your fault, but how you deal with it is your responsibility. So deal with it. Your life right now is fully in your hands. Nobody can make your decision for you but yourself. And if you are making decisions thinking that, oh, I want to benefit somebody else because I want them to be thankful for me, honestly, that is also selfishness. But I think in a bad way, in a bitter way, because you are placing a responsibility on somebody that they did not ask for. But when you make decisions for yourself and you make sure that you are living the life that you want to live, that might look like not studying what your parents want you to study if you know that's going to make you unhappy. Or, for instance, my parents definitely didn't want me to solo travel. They were so concerned about my safety. They still are. And I told them lovingly and respectfully, I'm going to do this. Like, nothing is going to stop me from doing this because I know this is the life I want to live. This is what's going to make me happy. If I stayed at home, maybe they would have been happy about that in the beginning, but I would have been so bitter and resentful that it would have ruined our relationship anyway. Now that I'm free, I'm doing what makes me happy, and they are kind of realizing that, I'm making my way around the world. I still haven't died. I'm okay. they're starting to accept it. We have such a beautiful relationship at the moment, something that I see growing every day. And it's because I'm doing what makes me happy. And when it comes down to it, we want the people we love to be happy, right? So why make yourself unhappy to do something that you think will benefit somebody else? And then you're just going to end up resenting them for it. And they didn't even ask you to do that, probably. So, resentment, bitterness has no space in an authentic life. You need to be selfish in that you need to make choices for your life that you know aligns with your passions, your values, what will bring you true joy. And then you'll be a better person to be around. Love will flow out of you more authentically. You will be able to give from a place of fullness. And you won't be this bitter, resentful person who ruins their relationships because they depleted themselves making choices that they did not want to make. So when I say be selfish, really, in the long run, that's going to be better for the people you love too. Okay. Following from that, martyrdom or victimhood, a victim mentality, always blaming other people. Like I said, yes, what happened to you is not your fault, but how you deal with it is your responsibility. You can only truly step into your purpose and step into the driver's seat of your life when you say, okay, this happened to me, now what? Not thinking that woe is me, or, oh, I did so much for everybody and now everybody owes me something, blaming other people for how your life turned out. Take action, damn it. Do something. Make a choice. Be active in your own life. Don't just be an observer of your own life. The next point is avoiding loneliness. If you want to live a life that feels so authentic and true to yourself, you need to learn to sit with the discomfort of being by yourself. Why is that important? Because your relationship with yourself is like a relationship with a partner, with a lover. You can only learn how to love yourself when you actually spend quality time by yourself. It's so interesting to me how people are always saying self-love, do all these things, but they cannot spend an evening alone. They cannot listen to their own thoughts. I've known people who would walk 4 steps to the kitchen from the living room and put in an AirPod listening to music. Or you always have to listen to a podcast, which is, I hope you're listening to this podcast, but not all the time. You always have to be around people, even when you don't really like them. Even when you're tired and you're kind of feeling socially depleted, you just can't be by yourself. What are you so afraid of? Yes, sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's weird maybe to go out for a dinner by yourself and you feel like everybody is looking at you. They must be thinking I have no friends. But who cares, firstly? Like, genuinely think about it on a philosophical level. What does it actually matter what anybody thinks of you? If you go out by yourself on a little solo date, let's say you take yourself out to a nice cafe, the people in that cafe, you'll probably never see them again. What does it matter what they think in a split second when their eyes land on you when you're sitting alone? That's the first argument. The second argument is they're probably not even thinking about you because everybody is really thinking about themselves, wondering how they are being perceived. This weird thing that we have of seeing ourselves from the outside, wondering how other people see us, that's physically disconnecting you from yourself. Be inside of you. I read somewhere that your job is not to love yourself, but to love being yourself. Because when you love yourself, it kind of creates this idea that it's something that comes from the outside. Like you're loving a child, you love yourself. But when you love being yourself, you love the experience of being you, that love is generated outwards to the world. So yes, of course, it's still a love of you inherently, but that love isn't inward focused. It's not navel gazing. It's a love that overflows onto the world. Again, I want to repeat that quote by Margarita Nazarenko, where she says, "You need to love the experience of being you." That is my guiding light. Because if you love the experience of being you, you will automatically radiate joy and kindness. People who are martyrs, who break their backs working and doing stuff, all these things for other people, and they just end up being bitter and resentful, and nobody wants to be around them. That's the sad truth. Nobody wants that. But the people who really live life for themselves, firstly, are the people who end up being the most selfless, really. Because you feel so fulfilled, you don't even have to think about yourself anymore. That joy is just radiated out into the world, and you're making everybody else's life around you light up. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And you start cultivating that relationship by learning how to spend time with yourself. You are the only person who's going to be with you forever. Friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, parents, siblings, those people come in and out of your life. They're not always there 24/7. You're the only one who's always gonna be there. So you might as well make friends with yourself, right? It's similar to, why would you want to live your whole life working a job that you hate? So why would you want to live your whole life hating the experience of being you, finding faults in yourself? I think we need to get to a point where you are like, if I don't like something about myself and I can change it, change it. If you do not like the fact that you have a short temper, go to therapy, work on it, change it, cultivate, curate the experience of being you. And if it's something you cannot change, learn to get over it. And that's the point. I'm not here to give you fluffy self-help advice. Solo travel really teaches you this stuff the hard way, because nobody's there to comfort you when you're sad. When you're on the road and you're in a strange country, you have a heavy backpack, sweat is dripping from your forehead, it's 40 degrees, your bus broke down. Nobody's there to comfort you. You learn how to deal with it by yourself. And in doing so, you learn that you have your own back. So I challenge you, spend time by yourself. Get to know your own love language, and then give that love language to yourself. Teach yourself, show yourself that you have your own back. You're going to show up for you. And if there's still stuff you do not enjoy about yourself, there's no reason to dwell on it if you can't change it. I think the biggest key to being confident in who you are is realizing that everybody around you has the exact same struggles. No matter how beautiful you think they are, or how confident, or how cool and amazing and how perfect their lives are, everybody gets insecure at some point. If I'm walking into a hostel and it seems like there's a group of friends who are so close and I'm the odd one out, I'm new, I remind myself they probably met each other today too. They're probably all a bunch of solo travelers who had to face that discomfort of approaching the group as well. And because of that, they're probably going to be really nice and open towards me when I approach them and want to make friends. And it's always the case. I think that people mostly are really kind and open, and there's really nothing to be that scared of. Maybe that's naive, but that opinion was born from 1 year of solo traveling the globe, meeting all kinds of people, being confronted with some really scary situations, getting lost, losing my phone, having no signal, buses breaking down, being on the side of the road, I'm always met and surprised constantly by how kind people are right across the world. Okay, so another thing that has no place in a truly authentic life is over-explaining or over-apologizing. Again, your life is yours. Nobody else has responsibility over what happens to you but you. You need to make choices that you know will make you feel fulfilled so that you can show up to your relationships and to the world in a happy and authentic way. So don't over-explain your decisions. You can be straight with people. If you are honest in a kind way and somebody doesn't take it well, that's on them. But in my experience, people usually react really well to honesty. Let me give you an example. I have always been very afraid of hurting people's feelings when it comes to romantic endeavors. So let's say I'm solo traveling and there's a guy who I can tell expresses interest. Instead of just telling him straight out that I'm not interested, I will try to be nice. I will try to spare his feelings. And then after a while, I realize that maybe this person thinks I'm actually interested in them. And now it just becomes awkward and hurtful because I'm just not honest. I realize I need to be honest from the get-go, from the moment I know that this is not for me, this is not aligned to my path, be honest about it. So, for example, I went on a date the other night with a really nice guy. He was really attractive, super kind, but I was still getting over a situationship that I had just gotten out of. And I kind of thought that I would go on this date, have fun, maybe it will distract me. But I was sitting there just not mentally in the space to have a conversation with somebody new or to flirt, or I just had no energy for it. I wasn't mentally in that conversation. And I knew it wasn't fair to this guy because he was lovely. It wasn't fair to me because I would just sit there for hours hating the experience because I'm miserable and I'm thinking of this other person who I just said goodbye to. I made a decision, to be honest. I told the guy, "You are lovely, but I kind of just said goodbye to somebody, and I don't think I'm ready to be on a date right now." And this man was so kind about it. He said that he gets it. He'll drop me off at home. He still paid for my wine. I was shocked and so pleased. And that's not the first time that I was honest about something that I thought would hurt somebody's feelings, and they actually just ended up really appreciating the honesty and reacting really well to it. So you don't have to over-explain yourself. If you say it from a kind and genuine place, you don't have to apologize. Another thing, shame around changing your mind. You are allowed to change your mind. You are a growing, evolving person. You are supposed to change your mind. In your 20s, you're supposed to try on all these different lives. Don't let people make you feel like you have a responsibility to stay the same or to always think in the same way. We are in a space in our lives right now where we're constantly experiencing so many different things, and we're growing exponentially into the people who we're becoming. So you're allowed to change your mind. And with that, other people are also allowed to change their minds. So don't let people make you feel caged, but also don't make other people feel caged. That again comes back to the point of nobody owes you anything, but you also don't owe other people anything. Except kindness and honesty. That's it. My second last point is romanticizing struggle. I want to tell you a secret. Things are allowed to feel easy. It's allowed to get that good and will probably even get better. Because when you are in flow and you do something you love and you make choices that will bring you joy, that is going to attract even more joy. Why? Because if you have an energy of someone who is fulfilled, that attracts people. People love that kind of stuff. And then they will give you what you want. Opportunities will flow to you. The work will flow out of you. And that will just snowball. It doesn't have to feel like a struggle. It can be easy if you are doing the thing you love. Finally, I know it's such a cliche, but comparison. I know it's hard. It is. It's hard even for me. I mean, you're seeing people who are doing what you're doing or doing what you want to do, and you're wondering, why aren't you there yet? I know comparison is just a part of life, and it's so easy to say, oh, we shouldn't compare ourselves. Everybody's on their own journey. I know that, but it's still hard. It still happens. I think that maybe the best antidote to comparison is trying to change your mindset towards the people who are achieving what you want to achieve to one of awe and not one of jealousy or bitterness. Those feelings of jealousy might be natural and they might come up for you, but how can we change that or shift that to think, wow, look what they are achieving, look what they're going for. That's incredible. That's an inspiration. Just actively try and change your mental chatter. If you feel the feelings of jealousy coming up, stop yourself. Actively say things in your mind like, I'm so happy for that person. That's amazing. If they can do it, I can do it too. If that's something you want to do. But the funny thing is, often we compare ourselves to people who aren't even on a path we want to be on. We're seeing somebody like crushing it at law school and maybe getting a great job afterwards, and they're making a lot of money, and we're feeling jealous. We're comparing ourselves to them, but we don't even want to be in that space. We don't want that life. If you actually think of it, that person's work life will be your struggle, whereas the work you choose for yourself that aligns with what you want to do will be your joy, and maybe your work will be that person's struggle. So when it comes to comparison, think, would you actually want that person's life? Not just their success, but their success comes with the work that they have to put in to get it. Would you want that work? Probably not. And if you do, if they're doing exactly what you want to do and they're achieving so much, actively change your mental chatter to one of awe, to one of, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too. I'm so happy for them. Because happiness is not limited. Success is not limited. That's the whole thing about the abundance mindset. I mean, that word is everywhere right now, but it doesn't make it less true. The world is full of abundance. The world is full of good things and opportunity and success. There's enough for everybody to go around. Just because somebody is achieving something does not mean that that is being taken away from you, or now you have less of a chance to be successful or achieve that. No, they're paving the way. Let them, cheer them on. I truly believe that the world will be a better place if we all live life for ourselves. And again, people hear that, they get triggered. They think, oh, I'm talking about selfishness. Everybody's going to be greedy. No, I'm talking about making choices that you know will bring you joy so that you can be the happiest version of yourself. Because the happiest version of yourself is also going to be the kindest, the most generous, the most giving. Whereas if you live life not for yourself, but for other people, you're going to be resentful, you're going to be bitter, and it's going to be awful being around you, and you're not going to add love and light to the world. That's the point. Okay, so that was a few of the things that I believe has no space in a joyful, authentic life. I hope you resonated with that. Thank you for being here. I would love it if you leave me a review, let me know what you think, or send me a DM. Right now, it feels like I'm just talking into the void, but I would love to get some feedback on how you experience the podcast and what you want to hear next. Anyway, I'm on my way to a karaoke night on the hostel rooftop, so wish me luck, I'll probably be singing Taylor Swift. Anyway, till next time, be kind to yourself and let's be lost and found together.